Right now, the top contributors to the Mitt Romney campaign are upstairs having breakfast for $2,500 a pop and then some. Paul the Vulture Singer, John the Snake Paulson, Iceman Simmons, though he didn't seem to make it for breakfast today, Wilbur Ross, auto parts and steel expert. Also, he's the guy that owned remember the Seago mine, where a couple dozen miners were buried alive? That's Wilbur Ross's operation. He made a lot of money off the Seago mine. He's worth $3 billion, and he went on the air and said, if people want to make donations to the poor families, just mail it in. But I said, do we mail it into his home in the Hamptons, or his Park Avenue apartment, or his place in Palm Beach? So that's who's up there. So you got billionaires having breakfast, and I see a bunch of other billionaires. There's Ken Langone, who, from Choice Point, the guy that came up with the list that knocked out black people in Florida in 2000, made George Bush president. When Katherine Harris knocked off black people in Florida off the voter rolls, story I uncovered for BBC, it was Ken Langone's company that provided her those lists of innocent black people to remove from the voter rolls. He's there now because he's elected one president and now he needs the next one. Obama has his creepy little billionaires too. For example, Penny Pritzker, who was with Superior Bank until it was shut down for predatory lending practices. The victims were the people in Obama's state Senate district. Pritzker's worth about $3 billion, and she was the one who picked out Obama to run for Senate and President. Who'd ever heard of Barack Obama? The answer was she was handed to us by Penny Pritzker, the billionaire who was fined $400 million personally for banking shenanigans. I mean, one of the creepiest bankers to ever walk the planet. She's the one who picked out Barack Obama for us, introduced him to Citibank chief Robert Rubin, to JP Morgan chief Jamie Dimon, and the rest is history or hysteria, depending on how you look at it. So Obama's got his billionaires, but it ain't nothing compared to this pack. You know, the Iceman, the Vulture, the Snake, all these people. I didn't give the Vulture his name, by the way. Paul the Vulture Singer is upstairs now, who's the co-chairman of this breakfast gathering. I don't think that people know who the billionaires are that are behind this campaign. People have finally woken up to the Kochs. I've been investigating the Kochs for 20 years. I did an article in 1998 on the Kochs, the richest guys you never heard of, investigating them for The Guardian. People are awake to that. But that's nothing. People don't know who Paul the Vulture Singer is. They don't know John the Snake Paulson. They don't know Wilbur Ross and the rest of these sharks. They don't know Ken Langone. And you got to know who the billionaires are who would buy the government, you know, at breakfast. Obama was elected as it was a kind of public uprising. The fact that he himself is still a toady to some banking billionaires is besides the point. There was an uprising which did throw a regime out of office, and that's important. So they got to stop the information. He said he was going to close Guantanamo, that he was not going to run an unconstitutional regime. He's a professor of constitutional law. You know, shame on you, Barack. My God. I mean, you know better. That's one thing. There's no excuse. Professor of constitutional law. And, you know, so explain indefinite detention to us and explain how that is in the Constitution. The whole point of habeas corpus is the guts of our Constitution. You can't hold people in prison unless they've committed a crime or you have damn good evidence that says that they've committed a crime. That's what makes America America. And as soon as we change that, we ain't America anymore.